1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is Meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer. It's 1 minute past 7:15. Had a little trouble with YouTube. They're really, I don't know what the deal is with our software and YouTube, but they don't seem to like each other. But we are rolling on YouTube now, and we are now rolling on the other platforms. That would include Roku, would include our apps, our website, and all that. And we are ready for the 7:15 streaming weather show here in Cincinnati. So first thing I'm going to show you here is we're going to look at our tower cam shot. Now, why would we be looking at our tower cam shot? Well, because we're looking north, right there on the left, it's the water towers that are on the west side. They're at Coleraine and North Bend. That is the highest point in the city of Cincinnati, the land elevation 791 feet above sea level. So that's the highest point, but that's not what we're interested in. We're interested in what looks to be right down the center of the screen. If you go a few miles further north, you're in Butler County at Harbin Park, and that's where the fireworks are going to be launched at 10 p.m. for Red, White, and Kaboom in the city of Fairfield. Now, what we're going to do on Fox 19 now, we're going to try, and we may have to adjust that as the fireworks start, maybe zoom in a little bit, but we will try to have that live for you at 10 o'clock on Fox 19 now. So definitely interested in taking a look at that. And there are other fireworks also around the tri-state. Another one we have a camera by is the Newport on the Levee camera. Let me see if I can call that camera up here. Let's see. Is that one? Oops, the other one. There we go. Okay, so here's our Newport on the Levee camera. I think they launched the fireworks from a barge in the Ohio River. So at 10 o'clock, we may have to adjust both of those cameras. We're going to try and bring you some live fireworks on the 10 o'clock news tonight so you can see a little bit of that. But again, Red, White, and Kaboom in the city of Fairfield from Harbin Park. And then from Newport on the Levee, we have the fireworks that are being launched from northern Kentucky. So let's go ahead and let's see now. Let's go back to what we were looking at first. Okay, so we're back to first alert weather 1, 86 degrees out there. You probably noticed the humidity is higher than it was yesterday, and that humidity is going to get even higher tomorrow, uncomfortable tomorrow, and then just downright sultry for both Saturday and Sunday. So got so many things going on here. Okay, and there's another view of the Newport on the Levee camera. So here's a time lapse starting at 4:56 this morning, and you can see this is from Turfway Park. The horses are out running. They don't really run that fast, but this time lapse they do. You see the blue sky, then the day heats up. We get a few of those cumulus clouds forming on the tops of thermals that rise from the surface. Everything's cleared out, a little bit hazy out there. We should be able to see far enough to the north to see those fireworks launched in Butler County. One of the things about the fireworks in Butler County is they're being launched from a higher elevation than at Hillside in Cincinnati, so that should make it a little bit easier to go ahead and see them. So tomorrow, hotter, more humid around the tri-state. Hot, sultry, the heat index in the upper 90s for Saturday, ditto for Sunday. Hot and sultry with the heat index in the upper 90s. A few spots may hit that 100-degree mark or a little hotter, especially in some of those microclimates like around the Lebanon airport, like around the Batesville airport, that are surrounded by crops which transpire a lot of moisture. Heat index at 5 o'clock officially tomorrow, about 89, 94 Saturday, 95 on Sunday. And whenever you have a couple locations around 94, 95, there's some of those areas with those warmer and more moist microclimates that could easily hit that 100-degree mark. So a sultry but dry 4th of July weekend. You know, my memory tells me every 4th of July was hot and humid when you went to the family picnic. I know that's not true, but that's kind of how your selective memory works. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at satellite and radar. Not much going on there. However, we did have a few pinhead sprinkly showers pop up. You can see them right there heading south. One right along the Licking River between Alexandria and Aspen Grove, and another one over in just to the west of Tate Township, north of Claremontville there in southern Claremont County. They only lasted a few minutes, maybe gave a few spots, a few sprinkles, but not even enough for puddles or anything. And we are still talking about this big area here with not much going on. Now you see a little bit of a disturbance here coming out of Michigan. That'll more than likely stay east of us, but even though you've got a big high pressure system, there are some little disturbances embedded within that. So there's one here that'll bypass us overnight, and then this one will stay probably mostly out of the area, but we can't rule out a pop-up shower or thunderstorm for about 2 or 3% of the population. 97% of us will see rain-free weather right on through the holiday weekend. All right, so that high pressure system, here's how that works. High pressure circulates in a clockwise manner in the northern hemisphere. Okay, south of the equator, it's opposite of that. All right, high pressure systems circulate counterclockwise, but that's another topic for another day. So how does that sweltery weather return? Well, as that high pressure system moves to the east, the southerly winds on the west side of it push that moisture in orange there further north, and it looks like sweltery weather all the way up into lower Michigan for the weekend. But then we're going to see a little bit of relief coming our way. How's that relief work? Well, we had the jet stream dip southward and bring us that nice weather yesterday. Actually, pretty nice weather today, just a little bit more humid. And this is what a break in the humidity feels like in the summer around here. Okay, now watch what happens. That high pressure system moves in for the weekend. This is an upper level high pressure system. Okay, so it's one of those heat domes. And then after it makes it here for the weekend, it begins to push back to the southwestern U.S. And the jet stream dips southward again, but not as far south, and pretty much right over top of us, and that puts the storm track over top of us. So what we're set up with, we call this, in Cincinnati, we call this a northwest flow regime, okay? In other words, jet stream flow out of the north and west. So the storms that are coming our way are coming out of the north and west. There's not a huge supply of moisture here, so they typically don't have a lot of moisture. They're kind of similar to what we call Alberta clippers in the winter. So they don't have a lot of moisture. They move fairly quickly, faster than one of the big lumbering storms. So two factors mean that it's restricted amounts of moisture that'll fall out of the sky. One, there's not a lot of moisture within those cells, or within those storms, and they're moving quickly enough that they don't spend enough time over top of you to dump a lot of rainfall. And then in addition, a third factor, because they are moving fairly quickly and because they're not so strong, they don't pull as much Gulf of Mexico moisture into the tri-state. And what that means is that that also helps restrict the amount of rainfall. So a northwest flow regime then, that's setting up, and it looks like it's going to set up on into the month of August, maybe even to the middle of August, means that we're not likely to see a heat wave. We're going to see fewer severe thunderstorm cells out of this, more than likely, although you can't rule out a few hot days. You can't rule out a couple days with severe thunderstorm activity. But overall, it means temperatures near normal, rainfall near normal, fewer severe thunderstorm episodes can be expected, and not a great deal of rain, no flooding rains, but enough rain to keep the soil moist enough so that you may only have to water every once in a while. So the outlook heading into August already is pretty good. Okay, so again, here's a summary of that northwest flow regime, and I'll let you see it full screen. No long extended heat wave, about normal rainfall from those little systems flowing. We also call them ridge riders, flowing out of the northwest from southern Canada and northwestern U.S. Fewer severe events because we just don't get as much unstable Gulf of Mexico moisture in here. And the systems will be frequent and small and move pretty quickly. So overall, that's just typical of what summer can bring in northwest flow. Okay, low temperatures this morning were in the upper 60s, low to upper 60s around the tri-state, no 50s out there. High temperatures today. Now, the final numbers were reported here at 8 o'clock. But so far, Madison made it to 90. Made it to 90 at Hookfield in Middletown. 88 in Hamilton, 89 at Lunken. Also 88 in Falmouth, Maysville, Lebanon, Chillicothe, Portsmouth, Ashland. I think that's it. So the official high was 87 degrees, and the humidity wasn't that bad. Airport temperatures right now, 89 at Lunken is the warmest spot. Everybody else is a little bit cooler than that, but not far from typical for this time of year. Now, the dew point temperatures are warmer or higher than they were at this time yesterday. So these are the dew points. Now, notice, again, we've talked about this a lot, those two microclimates. The one here in Lebanon, okay, and the one here in Batesville. Both these small airports are surrounded by agricultural fields. So there's a lot of crops. Crops grow in a field more densely than natural vegetation does, and that puts a lot more moisture into the air. And so the humidity in Lebanon and Batesville is much higher than the surrounding communities and not really representative of what's going on out there. But you can see dew point temperatures in the 60s throughout the tri-state. Now, how does that compare to this time yesterday? Okay, so if we take a look at the dew points this time yesterday, the 24-hour change, you can see Wilmington, 0 change. That means they're the same, they have the same dew point as they did this time yesterday. Falmouth, 7 higher, CVG and Lunken, 6 higher, 4 higher in Batavia and Harrison, 5 higher in Lebanon, Hamilton, and Middletown, and 4 higher in Richmond and Springboro, Batesville at 5 higher. So the dew points are on the rise, and that's kind of what happens when you have increasing dew points. Sometimes it just almost instantly gets really humid. Most of the time, they just creep a little bit higher. Okay, and then by tomorrow, it'll be uncomfortably humid around the tri-state. Today was kind of normally humid. Uncomfortably humid tomorrow, and then for Saturday and Sunday, many areas will have that heat index getting close to the 100-degree mark. So very humid, stressful for the weekend. Make sure you take plenty of breaks, drink plenty of fluids, keep those electrolytes balanced, keep your blood sugar up, and you'll be fine. The latest heat index values, though, based on those dew points, 90 at Lunken, 92 in Lebanon, 90 at Middletown, 89 in Hamilton, and you can see Batesville at 90. And you can see that it does vary, but it is just kind of what we think of as normal for this time of year in Cincinnati. So as we head through the night, no rainfall in the forecast, although we had those few pinhead showers earlier. By Friday at 7 p.m., nothing going on. By Saturday at 6:30 p.m., nothing going on. Sunday, this particular model says we might see a few sprinkles by late afternoon, but really the rain's going to hold off until Monday, and then Monday could see scattered to widespread shower and thunderstorm activity, not severe around the tri-state, but a good soaking rain in many locations. It looks like Tuesday, Wednesday are dry. Thursday, maybe some showers, and then Friday, Saturday, maybe some more shower activity around the tri-state. So a more active weather pattern as we head on into tomorrow. Oops. So this evening, 86 right now, dropping to 75 by 11 p.m. The sun's down at 9:08. Tonight, we're looking at a low temperature in the upper 60s, about 68 degrees. And then on Friday, the high temperature expected to be 89. The normal high is 86. The normal low is 66. So we're a little warmer than normal on the high side and the low side, but we're nowhere near the record low or the record high that you see at the bottom of that graphic. Okay, now the Climate Prediction Center's 6 to 10 day outlook, which is new today. Excuse me for a second, I got to get a little drink here. So we are a little bit warmer than normal through the 13th of July. They've changed their mind a little bit. Now through the 17th of July, we're a little bit warmer than normal, but not much. As far as precipitation, or as far as the 3 to 4 week outlook goes, this will be updated tomorrow, but they had us warmer than normal. So if all 3 of these hold, we'll be a little bit warmer than normal as we head toward the end of the month of July. Okay, precipitation, a little bit more than normal through the 13th. Through the 17th, a little bit more than normal, and just slightly more than normal through the 29th. And so what's the takeaway from all this? Number one, just a little bit warmer than normal means we are not setting up for a big, long heat wave at this point. That could happen later in the summer, but right now, as we head toward the end of the month of July, no long, prolonged heat wave is in sight. Number two, no long drought is in sight either because precipitation is expected to be a little bit higher than normal through the end of the month. So right now it's looking like a little warmer than normal, a little wetter than normal, and you know how summertime precipitation goes. It often is that hit and miss stuff. So your neighbor could get an inch of rain and you may not get any for 3 weeks. That's the way that pop-up summer thunderstorm activity happens. So what we're looking at then is more than likely most areas you'll not have to do a lot of watering. You may have to water during a real brief dry snap every once in a while, but we're not looking at a prolonged drought like the one we had last year, and we're not looking at a big heat wave that lasts a long time, maybe a few hot days in a row. So far the outlook is pretty good for the summer. All right, now here's the 7-day. We're looking at I don't know why I did that. We're looking at a low tonight, 68, high tomorrow of 89, 92 and 90, the low and high temperatures, or 92 and 90, the 2 high temperatures for Saturday and Sunday, lows in the 70s, and with the humidity on the high side, we're talking about heat index values from 95 to maybe 101 or 2 in spots. Okay, now Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the weather pattern changes a little bit. We have high temperatures only in the 80s. The humidity stays high, though. It looks like showers and thunderstorms Monday, as I showed you on that map, probably dry Tuesday, then a chance Wednesday, and again on Thursday. Okay, when we go beyond the 7-day forecast, there you see the high temperatures, the low temperatures. Now notice I've added something new here. This is something new I put in writing here. Because I qualified this rainfall, you see every single day has a chance of rain, and you could look at that and think, oh my gosh, it's going to rain forever. Well, it's just that hit and miss pop-up stuff. So it's summertime scattered and pop-up type of shower and thunderstorm activity around the tri-state. And you know what that means. It means you don't get anything for a few days, then you get a lot. But, it's not a large, consistent area that gets rain all at one time. But here, that may be different. So there's a cool front that's coming our way. Right now, the models have it in here in the 10th, maybe the 11th. It could vary one way or the other day-wise. But the cool front would be the indicator to you that the rain may be widespread, the 10th, which is not on this graph, and the 11th, and then just the typical hit and miss stuff from the 12th through the 17th. So right now, we're looking at a more widespread rain event. And again, with a cold front coming in, that could mean severe weather, but it's way, way too early to tell. We'll just keep an eye on it. And so that's what we're thinking. Possibly the 10th and the 11th, widespread rain. The 12th through the 17th, scattered pop-up stuff around the tri-state. So we can also take a look then at the temperatures over the next 14 days. And here you go. There are the highs, there are the lows. And notice how I said that we're going to be very close to normal, and you can see that. If you look at this, here's the normal high temperature line. We're above, then right at it, a little bit below, right at it, a little bit below. So we're hugging normal here in the high temperature side. There's a stretch here where we're well above normal on the low temperature side, but then again we get closer to normal. So remember, the Climate Prediction Center's average temperature was a little bit warmer than normal. The average is the average of the high and the low, okay? So if you have the high temperature, or the high temperature here, 84, that would be 2 degrees below normal. Here, 69, that would be 3 degrees above normal, so that would put our temperature about a half a degree warmer than normal for that day. And so since we're hugging normal here, we're a little bit above normal here, we're calling the average temperatures right on through the 17th of July, probably right near normal. So no big heat wave coming our way, and we saw what the precipitation chances were. Okay, so let me go ahead, take a look here who has joined us on Facebook. And Stephen Bryce Campbell, does the Storm Prediction Center have any severe storms on Monday? That's a good question. I've been so involved with trying to get all the 4th of July stuff. Let me take a look at the SPC's outlook for days 4 to 8. Right there. They only go out 8 days, and so today's Friday. So that's today. 1, 2, 3. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday's day 4. No, they do not. Okay, and actually days 4 through 8, they have no severe weather out there at all. So we are probably not going to see any severe weather, and things just don't look like a severe situation. JD Javisto, how are you doing today? I'm doing great. Had the gutter on our house repaired. Got some other stuff done. Cleaned the deck off. Then came to work, and now I'm off tomorrow. I'm off Saturday and Sunday. Meteorologist Erin Ashley will be in tomorrow here for the 7:15 show. So please join her. She'll have the latest for us. She knows her stuff. Susan Wally, hello, Steve. Happy 4th of July. Always remember hot picnics also. Yeah, I just don't get that because, and I talked about this briefly yesterday, your memory is very selective. One of the things that climate researchers know is really you shouldn't rely on the human memory. Now, sometimes people have really good memories, but really rely on what they wrote down as it was happening. Because, for example, I remember when I was a kid, it seems like, oh my gosh, we had so much more snow than we have now. Well, that's really not true. If you look at my entire life, there really hasn't been that much of a change. There have been a few winters where it's been really snowy. And a good portion of my formative years were in the early 1960s. The early 1960s were a fairly cold episode, like the late 70s were, and there was quite a bit more snow, and so there might have been a few winters with more snow when I was a kid, but my memory selectively remembers those as opposed to the days that nothing was happening. Okay, so, and Susan says she remembers hot 4th of Julys. I remember, I can't wait to get a slice of that watermelon, or Mom, can I have another popsicle? Or they'd say, sit in the shade, and we'd want to run around until we were exhausted. But things have not changed all that much. Okay, that's it. I hope everybody's out enjoying the weather. And again, tomorrow, the 4th of July, happy birthday, America. We've got a great country here. I hope that we've got many, many more great years ahead of us. And I tell you what, as I've traveled a lot of the world and seen how a lot of the people in different corners of the world live, and every time I do that, I'm so thankful that I was born right here and was able to enjoy what this country's, actually not so much what this country offers, but what the hard work of the people who built this country enabled us to do. So that's it. Happy 4th of July. Join meteorologist Aaron Ashley tomorrow at 7:15 here. Thank you for joining me.